Get your hopium tanks ready, because I'm about to give you 15 straight minutes of dopium hit. Because yes, I truly do believe 100 Thieves can and will go to Worlds. Starting off with the series against Shopify Rebellion this past weekend, well, I don't even really want to say series because it was more of a game. Right after 100 Thieves was able to win Game 1, we had already locked in playoffs. We had already locked in the fact that we would be playing up against Dignitas, so the next two games were quite literally irrelevant. So irrelevant to the point where LoL esports stats didn't even post the after game snapshot that they always do that I'll have on the screen here, and it's the second straight week in a row that they haven't posted the second game of 100 Thieves series for whatever reason. So hey guys, could you pay attention to us please? But looking at game 1, man, did we have some fun with this one. Lilia, Yasuo with a Kai'Sa, Rel bot lane, and a Renekton top lane. Renekton obviously fitting well into Sniper's wheelhouse. We've seen Quid play the Yone multiple times. We've seen him play Aatrox mid. Now he's adding Yasuo into the pool. There's literally no champion that this guy cannot play at this point. I'm not going to sit here and make the argument to you that Yasuo was the most effective early. It wasn't. By all means, Corki was able to poke him out quite a few times. Although the wind wall did block quite a few hooks trying to come in from Shopify and Zeyzal. So I will say, effective on that front. But the star of this game, by far and away, was Tomo. His Kai'Sa was popping off. This game was close about halfway through, or not even halfway through, about 10 minutes in, and then we just flipped the switch and started winning fights, and it felt like Tomo, even in times where we were dying otherwise, he just always was able to put out a ton of damage and always able to confirm off kills and just had one hell of a game, period. And it's another good stepping stone whenever you're looking at this bot lane and saying, yeah, they're the newest part of this roster. They're the honeymoon phase that we were hoping would give us a little bit of an edge. And man, are they just playing well for whatever reason. You can have your criticisms of Vela, whatever, but Tomo at a minimum playing really, really well. And together as a bot lane, they're playing pretty effective. Ayla's still getting caught out at some points. There was a moment or two on Rel that it was I'm not sure why you're there. You missed the full combo, but it is what it is. But overall, this team looks night and day better with Tomo in the roster. Feels like we have more flexibility. We're getting those AP comps to be a lot better, and apparently we are doing a lot better in scrims. And don't take that from me. Take that from our top laner himself. I got the chance to talk to Sniper after the series was done and get his thoughts heading into playoffs and reflecting on the Shopify series. So first thing have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
No, I haven't, but I really want to watch it.
Okay. You guys nearly screwed me over, okay? Because I had a bet going that if you guys lost this series, I had to do something that you will come to understand when you go see that movie, okay? And I swear to God, I thought you guys were throwing it intentionally for that reason. What were those game 2 and 3? What? Walk me through after you guys win the game 1 and you're automatically locked. What was it like?
I felt like after we won game 1, everybody kind of just they were going crazy mode, nobody gave a frick. We were just playing whatever we wanted to, and yeah, I guess we weren't focused 100% going into these two games because we were already locked in playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dude, you're killing me. So Aurora, I get you guys are screwing around to a certain extent, but is that something that you want to be able to pull out if the moment's right come playoffs?
I mean, obviously I don't want to say too much, but you know how it is. But all I'm gonna say is my Aurora has been completely 1v9 in solo queue, and I mean, well, Quid got to play it today.
Yeah.
But next time we pick it again, I mean, hey, I might bust it out. Yeah.
Okay, I see you. Is there anything with the Dignitas series that you're looking forward to? Because you go up against Licorice, who is known to be pretty damn good in best of fives. You have never played him in a best of 5, given that he wasn't even in the league last split. What are your thoughts on that matchup and where Dig's at?
I do think Licorice is okay. I'm gonna be honest. I like Licorice a lot as a person, and even as a player, he's very, very smart about it. But I thought he would be much better than what he was. So I do think I match up against Licorice really well, and it's just gonna be a banger series, when we play against Dignitas.
Is there any particular matchup that you're wanting to see besides that in playoffs? Like, regardless of whether it's an upper bracket, lower bracket, like, is there a team that you want to play in a best of 5?
To be honest, not necessarily. I feel like the split has been there's been so much like ups and downs, you know. But overall, I feel like I just gotta keep focusing on myself. I gotta get like my mind right, because in game 2, I was honestly like a little bit tilted after we lost like a certain fight, because like I realized that I was in such a good spot and then I just threw. So I think just focusing on myself and us as a team, then like just taking it day by day. You know, there's no one in particular that we care to play with.
Gotcha. Ayla mentioned in his stage interview after the series that you guys have a ridiculously high win rate now in scrims. Can you walk me through what's the biggest difference with Tomo in the roster that has just flipped things? Because for the longest time, obviously, you guys were known for not doing the best in scrims.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like Tomo's actually been amazing. He has like such a loud voice on the team, and he's not afraid to like call any of us out. You know, like after game 2, he literally called me out on like the way I was playing these team fights, and that kind of just opened my eyes and made me lock in for game 3. But Tomo's just been amazing. He's just been he knows exactly what he wants, and he's not afraid to say it. You know.
Yeah. How do you feel about yourself now that you've done 2 full regular seasons? You're now going into your second playoffs. How do you feel you've come along since the beginning of the year? Because we talked at the very, very beginning on like where your expectations were, where your dreams were. Like, how going into playoffs now do you feel like you stack up relative to where you wanted to be at this point?
I definitely I'm very disappointed in myself, to be honest, on like where I'm at the moment, just because I feel like I'm not playing as good as I should be. And like compared to last split, I was doing extremely well, like mentally, even like just gameplay wise and everything. But this split, I kind of tried doing too much, and that took a toll on me. So I'm just kind of trying to find a balance right now. And when I do find that balance, I will be very happy with how I've played these past 2 splits.
I've seen you mention that a few times now. Do you worry that you're being too hard on yourself? Like, by all means, because I don't want to take away from like you obviously being self-critical and wanting to improve. That's the natural mark of a competitor. But at some point, like, do you worry often about things that aren't in your control, that like you can't have any say over, that it might be best to take a step back and be like, okay, I'm worrying a little too much. I just go with the flow. You know, progress is not a steady line. There's ups and downs along the way. Like, do you worry about that at all? Or like, is that something that you've thought about?
I think exactly what you said was like kind of what's been happening through my thoughts in a way, where like I'm just worrying about things I can't control when I should just be in the moment, you know, like I am right now. And that way, like nerves wouldn't catch up to me by a lot, and I just be like, I just have so much more fun, you know, if I just stayed in the moment and stopped overthinking. So that's definitely something I'm working on for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm coming up on the time that they're gonna make sure you got to get out of there. Anything you want to say to 100 Thieves fans, to your fans, to the league community in general?
I just want you guys to know that mentally I'm doing like amazing now. Like I want to kind of just say something about the last interview that I did about like the mental part, where uh it's like, how can you not feel like that, you know, when you're 1-4 in the standings, you're last place. Like I feel like in a way it should make sense that I was feeling the way I did. So yeah, like I'm doing completely fine. Everything has been amazing, and just keep supporting us. And thank you for this interview, of course, as always.
Just do me a favor and go kick the shit out of Dignitas. That would make me the happiest man in the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one, man.
You too. Take care.
See it.
There were 2 key takeaways for me when it came to this interview. First was what he said at the end of, yes, Sniper's mental was clearly affected by the fact that we did go on that massive skid starting with Dignitas in the summer split. It seems to have turned around pretty quickly, and you did expect his mental to bounce back, and hopefully he doesn't take some of the lessons that, you know, he can't necessarily control too hard. But more importantly, we're apparently doing really well in scrims. I don't know what all teams against. Obviously, they won't say that. But to have that high of a win rate in scrims this late in the year is really, really good. And it's perfect going into what was 2 easier weeks heading into playoffs. And now we can take a look at the bracket.
We are set up for a very good run. I mean, pretty much everybody other than TLC9 has a shot at this. Before I even go into the matchups, when you look at where we were last split, we were 4th. We were behind Team Liquid, Cloud9, FlyQuest, and that's pretty much where we are right now. We are even with Dignitas, and Dignitas completely retooled their roster from spring. In terms of my predictions, I said that Dig would be right with us at the beginning of the year. So honestly, other than FlyQuest maintaining their form and not having the fall off that I was kind of hoping they would have in summer, I think it's safe to say entirely that we are right where we were in spring, which is good because everybody else around us has gotten better as well. That's a good indication on us as well that we haven't fallen down. We didn't slump against NRG. We didn't slump against any of the teams below us. We still beat the teams we need to, and even when you look back at the Dignitas series from earlier this summer, Game 1 was winnable and we threw it. We gave Smolder so many stacks, and that was ugly. Game 2 was definitely more of a stomp. Licorice took over early, and then we let Jensen have his way with us in the later portion of that game. That game 2, notably, we drafted like the Vi Talia and tried to like force old meta because we weren't that good at the new meta, or at least we weren't able to close it out, and they picked Morgana jungle and pretty much countered us pretty easily. But looking back on it, it was very much like a closer series than people thought it was going to be, especially that game 1. So yeah, we're right where we want to be, and we are improving and growing pretty rapidly coming into playoffs. So all we have to do to make Worlds is technically win 2 series if it's in the upper bracket, 3 if it includes lower. So if we beat Dignitas, then we would just have to beat assumedly TL to make it, or you would assume we'd lose, go into the lower bracket, and we'd have to win 2 series from there. Top 3. That's all you need. Top 3. That's it. Worlds is 100% in reach, and FlyQuest is beatable based on what I've seen over the last few weeks. And even we took a game off them whenever we have Meech in the roster. So yeah, I'm feeling good about a potential playoff run here. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass entirely. Like, I'm dead serious. I have faith in this. As for that Dignitas series itself, in my opinion, how we win this series is quite simple. We need to shut down Licorice, and we need to unlock our bot lane. I never would have thought I would have said this, a few weeks ago before it was like, hey, just play through Sniper, play through Quid. I think Quid versus Jensen has historically been Jensen favored. Jensen plays really, really passive, and for whatever reason, their team does a good job of just letting Jensen scale like that. I mean, they kind of like play a let them scale style in general when they're not just massively outclassing Immortals in Game 3. It's the Ezreal, it's the Corki, it's those types of champs. But I honestly feel like for Tomo, this is a potential revenge series, and I want to give him the tools to win the game because I believe that he can. For those of you that don't remember, yes, Tomo actually was the ADC for Dignitas in spring prior to getting kicked out of Dig, and they retooled the whole roster and Sven comes in. So this is very much a I want to bury Sven angle. This is actually one of the most hype storylines that we have coming into playoffs, and I think that honestly Tomo is a better ADC than Sven right now. So give him the tools to win this game, but also for Quid, be able to go even with Jensen, and for Sniper, do not allow Licorice to get ahead. I'm not expecting Sniper to get the best of Licorice. I think Licorice in best of 5s is like a real good test of where you are at, but it's his ability to not lose this game, which is going to be critically important. When I look at Jensen, Spica, Licorice versus River, Quid, Sniper, it looks fairly even. But the thing with 100 Thieves is that we've tended to be more aggressive early on, whereas Dig kind of plays more passive, and it's like Dig has done a good job against bottom teams of being like, hey, you gotta beat us, not us beat you. And they've been able to do that, and they caught our throw the first time around, so if we could just avoid doing that again this time, I think it's ultimately fine. Licorice in a best of 5 just scares me, though. For whatever reason, I just think he's always been good in these moments, and I expect him to be good again. So for Sniper, when you look at how we performed in spring playoffs, there was that reality check come best of 5s, but now we have a bunch of best of 3 experience that hopefully there won't be that fall off, and hopefully we can elevate. And if we can elevate and beat Dignitas in this series, oh man, are we set up well to start cooking come playoffs, because that guarantees at least 2 more weeks for us to figure our stuff out to get another chance to crack at World. My final prediction for this series, I actually think it's going to be a banger all the way through, and I think that we are going to scale up. So no matter how we look against Dignitas, I think we will get better as playoffs goes on, but I am going to say 3-2 100 Thieves over Dignitas this upcoming weekend is going to be a banger. We're watching it out in Brooklyn. I actually have to get back home after game 1 of that series to come let the dogs out. I will be gone and moving a friend in all day, so unfortunately I can't be there for the entire series. But if you are in the New York City area, come watch this series, or at least the beginning of it, with me in New York. I promise you it'll be a good time. come get a drink. The chicken tenders at Brookland are amazing. I promise you will like them, and I hope to see you there. Thank you, Sniper, for the interview. Good luck to the team this weekend. I cannot wait. Playoffs is finally here and is the best part of the year as we begin the hype towards Worlds, and I truly believe that we can make it.